Do you own a car or are planning to buy one? Then you should know that you may be paying up to 20,000 shillings for upcoming mandatory emissions tests. Recently, NEMA gazetted the Air Quality Regulations of 2024, which will see motorists subjected to mandatory emissions tests for which they will be charged a fee. Here is what you need to know. First, all commercial and public service vehicles will be undergoing emissions tests every year. Equally, private vehicles that are over 5 years old will be undergoing emissions tests once in every 2 years. In terms of the fee charges, motorists will pay for the test depending on the weight of their vehicles. For instance, vehicles that weigh less than 3.5 tons in tire weight, that means that when the vehicle is empty, motorists will be charged 5,000 shillings per test. Tests for vehicles weighing between 3.5 tons to 7 tons will be charged at 10,000 per test. On the other hand, for vehicles exceeding 7 tons in tire weight, the test will be charged at 20,000 shillings per test. You may be wondering what happens if your vehicle fails the test. Should a vehicle's emissions exceed the set standard by NEMA, the owners will be required to make corrective measures and take another test. Failure to meet the set standards during the retest will result to fines, which is known as the pollution tax. For example, if you take your vehicle for a retest and NEMA determines that the emissions has surpassed the set standards by 10%, you will be required to pay a fine equal to the amount you paid during the test. For example, in this case, if you had paid 5,000 shillings for the test and you go for another retest and it is determined that the emissions is between the 10% limit above the set standards, then you'll pay another 5,000 shillings. For those emitting above the 10% after the retest, they will be required to pay 20,000 shillings for each exceeding range of 10%. Ultimately, vehicles that are determined to be non-compliant for 5 consecutive years risk being declared environmentally unfit. This will in turn result to deregistration by NTSA. Money254.co.ke has written about this and other related stories. To read them, click the link on the bio.